I call myself an anarchist because I believe that theft is wrong. As a capitalist, I believe that I have the right to own that which I have worked and freely traded for. I believe in free trade and property rights, and impeding the rights to justly earned property is, in every form, theft. Morally, I realize that I'm not able to call for any system of taxation, even if my proposed system of taxation is somehow new and improved.
Above that, everyone pays a flat tax of 10%.
It is not enough to say that my preferred system of taxation is less terrible. To advocate taxation in any form is to say that the property rights quality of capitalism extends only to whatever percentage I deem acceptable. Because as a capitalist, I understand that property taxes are a method of the state requiring the payment of rent on property you already own, I understand that a failure to pay this tax is penalized by the confiscation of the property. Therefore, to advocate a property tax, I'm admitting that the state owns everything and merely rents it to its subjects. To advocate an income tax is to acknowledge that nobody owns the product of their labor. In this, they hold no property rights in themselves, because when I advocate an income tax, I understand that this means that I expect somebody to earn an income and then pay a percentage of that income to a ruling elite who earned nothing. And I understand that a failure to do this will result in the ultimate penalty of being held captive in a cage. Therefore, to advocate an income tax, I am admitting that the state owns the property in you. I realize that this is true for corporate taxes, because I'm able to recognize that the status of incorporation is merely a classification by which the state is able to tax my production in a different manner. I realize that the term corporation is merely a government-created category for one or a group of human beings so as to impose on them a different set of rules and tax them in a different manner. As a capitalist, I understand that sales taxes indicate that the state claims a commission on every transaction that takes place within its borders.
And here's your receipt.
Whoa, that's high.
Yeah, it's a sales tax.
Without paying this commission, the transaction cannot legally take place. This, I understand, is not free trade. And I understand that a tariff is the same commission imposed on transactions with people who are not the subjects of the tax-imposing state. I realize, too, that a tax on inheritance is an admission that our children have no right to the properties we labored for, intending to pass along. I understand that everything that I choose not to consume myself will be consumed by the state. In this, I realize that in life, I am nothing more than a steward for the state's property, and in death, I return it to its rightful owners, none of whom earned it. And as a capitalist, I understand that a tax on earnings in the form of capital gains indicates that it is not enough to have earned my wealth, but if I'm to continue investing it in a productive capacity, I must continue to pay a tithe to the true owner of my wealth, the state. But most importantly, I realize that to impose a tax, it must be enforced. I realize when I pay my taxes that I only do this because if I do not, eventually men will be sent to my house with guns. These men with guns, if I continue to refuse payment, will take me away by force and lock me in a cage. If I dare to resist these men and their guns, they have been granted the right to shoot and kill me. And in this, I realize that every form of taxation is collected at gunpoint. Every form of taxation is a manner of theft. And like many anarchists before me, I understand that to justify robbery, one must merely call themselves the government. I'm an anarchist because I know that the state does not exist by producing, but rather by stealing from those who do. I'm an anarchist because I believe that theft is immoral.